Hey y'all, I'm down here in the pit making rifle slings. I've also got some other cool stuff coming here. I'm going to make a big batch of lanyards that will be ready to ship in some of the scraps that I have left over of this fantastic MOS tactical BDU pattern webbing. But what I wanted to talk to you about is Patreon. I've just put up a post on Patreon, a poll actually, asking what my patrons wanted me to do. Now, ultimately, my patrons are paying me because they like to see my content, and I'd like for them to have some say in that, so their say weighs most heavily, right? But what I'm looking to do is potentially one of maybe four things. I'd like to do something big on Patreon, or with my Patreon right now. And by the way, my current Patreon project you will see hopefully here pretty shortly. But for the next one, I'm thinking of either purchasing a Bussy and INFI, reviewing it and breaking it, or purchasing a Randall, reviewing it and breaking it, or purchasing a dirt cheap Walmart grade mountain bike, reviewing it, breaking it, repairing it, adjusting everything, making sure the assembly is ideal, and then giving it away, or trying to find the best entry level mountain bike. One by drivetrain, decent suspension, name brand components for the best price, reviewing it, and then giving it away. Those are kind of the four things I'm thinking about doing. This isn't a mountain bike channel, and a lot of my supporters are here for my political videos or for my knives, but there's just been this outpouring of questions about mountain bikes, and they're almost all related to the best bang for the buck. And to be honest, I don't have any experience with the best bang for the buck in mountain bikes because I have, up till this point, worked my hardest to purchase American-made bikes and, to have overall good components, but I'm paying probably $300 to $400 extra to have it made in America, and I'm looking for mid-level performance as opposed to just hitting par. So it's hard for me to say buy X, Y, or Z. I can say it based on reputation and what I can see, but I would like to actually review it and be able to tell you guys that. But I also am interested in purchasing a POS bike, getting it running right because they're never assembled correctly, and then just showing you like how bad it could potentially be. I'll link to it in another video at some point. Seth's Bike Hacks thought that he found a good $400 Walmart bike, and on his first climb, getting ready to go over some rocks and stuff, he started hearing some squealing, and he couldn't quite figure it out, and he'd blown the bearings up in the bottom bracket where the cranks are, where you pedal. And he said, and then he ended up bending the handlebars, right? He said, look, it's not a big deal. I replaced this for $15. I already had this, and I'm still under the price of a good mountain bike. So it's still positive. And the reason that that's not positive for the average buyer is he has an entire bike shop worth of repair parts and tools, and he knows everything that he needs to know, so it's not a big deal. The person just getting into it doesn't know. They might go to their local bike shop to get their bike repaired. It might cost them $100 with labor and everything else. They might not even know to get it replaced and just have a terrible experience. They might break their bike and get injured. One medical bill is probably going to cost you more money in time and everything else than the cost of buying a better bike, right? So that's something that I am interested in demonstrating. But anyways, let me know here, guys. Once we have decided what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and do a little bit of a Patreon drive, advertise what we're going to do, see if we can't get some new patrons on board who are interested in seeing whatever it is that we choose. But what I'd encourage you to do you know, for the cost of less than a cup of coffee, you can be a supporter on Patreon. Every dollar helps. Check it out, the Preppers Bunker Outdoors on Patreon. There'll be a link in the description box below. Vote in the poll. Tell me what you think. Let me know if you have other ideas as well. And of course, you can comment here too. But I do want to tailor this for my patrons, because my patrons traditionally have made so much happen on this channel. They've done so much for me, and I'm always looking for ways to give back to them. So let me know, and I'll talk to you in the comment section below. I hope that you have a blessed day. And once again, the description box below, not only my Patreon is there, but my business. If you want rifle slings, I'm cooking up a batch of dog collars and dog leashes as well right now, baldric slings, all this stuff. I sit here in the pit and I make it. And I've got thousands of dollars of premium American-made components, thousands and thousands of dollars in a huge variety of colors and patterns for you to choose from, because that's important to me, and that's why I buy American bikes. I like supporting American made, and I like having options, and that's what I've brought to my business. So consider checking out Beach and Tactical for that. Exodus Knife and Tool, I don't have any knives for sale right now, but I do have keychains and hats. I am going to be working on some coffee mugs. I think I'm going to have coffee mugs made for me down in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I'm really excited about that. So I've got a lot going on. I appreciate you guys' support. I hope to have a lot to offer for you guys. We're going into a recession, so I'm going to be looking at ways to diversify what I offer to have more affordable options on the website for the people who want to support me but who can't drop $70 on a custom sling. I totally understand that. And the other thing with this recession, I looked, you know, at Paracord Galaxy, and they didn't even have 1,000-yard rolls or 1,000-foot rolls in stock in most of my colors. Like, stuff is drying up. It's going to start getting more expensive, getting more difficult. And so while everything's getting more expensive for me to make products for you, simultaneously, people are going to be having less money, and simultaneously, the US dollar is going to be worth less. It's going to be a really interesting thing for small businesses here. And small business confidence is at an all-time low, but we're gonna just try and outsmart it, outwork it, and push our way through. So anyways, once again, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you in the comment section below.